Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all of our friends out there in Facebook land and also YouTube and Twitter and wherever else we're broadcasting this afternoon. Just want to invite all of you to come in as you are coming in. Do me a big old favor and share out the broadcast this afternoon. I'm excited. This is one of the opportunities that I love as it pertains to talking about coaching and talking about what God is doing in this hour through the coaching discipline. He's up to some amazing things. Many of you who are coming on now, you know that I am Kimberly Jones. I am a master life and empowerment coach. And I believe that coaching is one of God's answers to some and many, especially now, many of the issues that we see going on in the earth. I love the discipline of coaching. In addition to coaching, I also pastor and I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm also a spiritual mentor and mother to many. I just love this whole idea of pushing people in whatever capacity is presented. Okay, I don't allow an opportunity to be a pusher and to encourage God's people to live on purpose and make every day count. I don't let one of those opportunities pass me by, and so I have on my coaching hat this afternoon, and I have a very special guest with me as we delve into this whole concept of coaching. And many of you know that I call this my coach's corner, where I highlight a coach and interview a coach and talk about coaching. And there are many of you that are watching, and you've been kind of over in the cut, kind of watching and peeking in on seeing what's happening with this whole coaching thing. And we are making this an up close and personal opportunity for you to ask some questions and get the inside scoop on this whole phenomenon. We see it all over the place, don't we? This coaching thing, everybody's a coach, everybody's doing coaching in some fashion or form. But I always say this, there is always room for more. Okay. There is always room for more. And I have an amazing guest with me on this afternoon who can echo that and really support the fact that it is always room for more, and that God has blessed and has anointed each and every one of us with a particular, y'all know my message is purpose. So as we talk to Coach Nicole this afternoon, we're going to find out that her message is closely aligned as well with this whole idea of us living on purpose and walking in purpose. And I am going to allow her to introduce herself. She is one of the coaches that actually matriculated through the Living on Purpose coaching certification program not too long ago. And when I tell you she is on fire, she is out here moving and shaking and has not allowed, what do they say, the grass to grow under her feet. She's not allowed that to happen. And I am very excited and very honored to have her as my guest this afternoon. And so I'll be quiet here for a moment and allow Coach Nicole Pertiller to introduce herself and let you guys know who she is and what she does. Go ahead, Coach Nicole.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. This is an honor to be here. My name is Coach Nicole Pertiller. I am from Pennsylvania and I am a coach. And my business is called Creative Life Purpose Coaching. The creative is because, as you see behind me, all these paintings, I am an artist. And so I try to weave creative processes into all of my coaching activities because I find that um, art and creativity often brings people's defenses down and makes them more comfortable, and it's just fun. And so I love bringing in the color and bringing in different activities that will stir people's creativity as we deal with issues such as purpose and issues of the heart, soul care, and wellness. I coach a lot of women who are therapists, counselors. I am also a therapist, and so I know that those arenas can carry a lot of burnout and just people who are giving and giving and giving and sometimes don't pour back into themselves. So I am a coach who is focused on those types of women to help them in that area.
Wow, 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 wow. How powerful is all of that? All of that is so powerful. And I found out something new. Now, I didn't know about the whole artistic thing going on there. So
Yes,
is that all of your work back there in your background?
um, yeah, the heart behind me, that's mine. Some of the pieces, the purple and the purple down here, those are friends that have given me their artwork. So this is my desk. So I'm always looking at those pieces. Those are like my inspirational pieces. But the red one, that's a heart, is mine, and the rest are
Wow.
friends.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. One of the things that I always stress, and you have just exemplified it perfectly. One of the things that I always express is for those who are interested in the discipline of coaching, whether it's being coached or becoming a coach, that God will take the things that you are innately talented to do, those things that come natural for you. He will take those very things and he will weave it into your purpose as a coach, or even as you're being coached, bring those things out as you're a coach, a good coach anyway, begins to delve into those things that are inside of you. And so you have exemplified that perfectly with your creativity and your art that you weave into what you do. So you talked about the population or the demographic that you serve. How did you discover who you were called to as a coach?
I think God used my own experiences and things that I had been through to really highlight the area of therapists and counselors who are at this place of really burnout or not taking care of themselves because they're taking care of other people, because I was that person. And so I had gone through a couple of really challenging situations, a car accident where I was injured and I was still trying to be out there providing therapy for people in my own pain. And God just really spoke to me about that, and how I really needed to address why I felt like I couldn't stop and take care of myself, why I couldn't do those things. Because when you do those things is when you are able to show up and your best for other people. So that's how
Yeah.
I narrowed in on that demographic.
That's good. So through your experiences, and I see a lot of people, Lisa is on. She says, that's my AP, Dr. Nick. Quan, blessings to you. I see Erica says, hey, that's my beautiful classmate. Coach Erica and Coach Lisa are both on. They were both part of the cohort that you came through. So just want to acknowledge them. Hey, Cheryl, how are you? Cheryl Maddox Gillespie is on. And
Oh, that's my cousin.
That's your cousin?
Yes.
Cheryl Maddox is your cousin?
Yes.
Why didn't I know that? Why am I right here live? I'm learning all of this stuff. Man, I did not. Why didn't I know that? Or did I know that and forget? I don't think I knew that.
You might not have. She is how I met you, because she kept tagging us on the 40-day count up at the end of the year. So that's how I found you.
See, now we're gonna have to take a little a little deviation right here. Cheryl is amazing. She does that like anytime that I'm on or anytime that I'm doing the 40-day count up, she will tag the whole world, okay? She was doing that and she did it consistently. It was like she was tagging the whole world. And there are people from, I know her family, and now I see you, that came into those broadcasts, that came in even to some of the courses that I taught. Man, she did an amazing job of sharing what God was doing. So kudos and shout out to Cheryl this afternoon. Blessings to you. Man, oh man, I'm telling you, we just never know who is in our midst, you know? So this was a perfect and a beautiful connection between us. And so I had to put that in there. I had to throw that in there. But back to our topic. um, you said that it was your experiences, some things that you had gone through,
Mhm.
that really cued you into who it is that you were called to. And this is what is so so consistent in the practice of coaching for so many people. You know, a lot of people are like, well, if I get into this whole coaching thing, who am I going to coach? You know,
Mm.
who's going to need me? Who's going to really understand the importance of my being in this place, you know, of coaching. And many times I tell people to just simply look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. If you want to find out who you've been called to, if you want to find out who your message is for, just simply look in the mirror,
Mm.
because the people who you are called to will be the people who relate to your story, who've been through the things that you've been through, who need answers and solutions on where they are, which many times you as a coach have already been through, and you're able to find and provide those solutions because you've experienced it. What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
Absolutely. I feel like that is right on, and it is exactly what happened to me. And I'm honestly, I'm still kind of cultivating it because God had me come back and be, well, what did you need? What did you wish that you had when you were in those places
That's a
of
good question.
struggle and pain, like physical pain, trying to help other people? What are the things that you wish that you had available to you? And those are the things that I am building and creating to provide for others.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's a great question. What is it that you wish you had? Like, that's a great coaching question, right?
Mm,
Even in excavating some of the answers, right? So you ask yourself a great coaching question, and it allowed you to pull out the answer
mhm.
to the question of, why am I doing this? Who am I called to?
Yeah.
Is there really an audience for what I have? And that's a perfect question. If you're on right now and you are in coaching already, or you're thinking about being in coaching or becoming a coach, listen, write that down. Write that down. Like, these are some good nuggets here. What do you wish you had? What is it? What's the answer that you wish that you had? And you know, when I think about some of the things that I've done in coaching, I've done and gone down that same path, Coach Nicole, in determining and identifying who it is that I am called to.
Mhm. Yes.
Again, just simply
Mhm.
looking in the mirror and then thinking about my life, even in creating programs, I do the same thing. And I'm sure that you do too. And we'll talk about some of
Definitely.
the programs. You're doing some great things already, even having gone through the certification program just several months ago. I want you, there's so much that I want you to, okay? I got to calm myself down and slow myself down. But I want you to talk about that step that you took
Mhm.
to actually say, you know what, I need to do this. I need to go through this certification program. Talk about that.
Um, it's interesting because I had already been through a coaching certification program, and this one was very different. And so how I came to the decision that I needed to do it was I had already connected with you and another group, another program, and I was like, oh, I don't want to be done yet. I don't want to be done. I love her. And so you had a couple different options, and what I did was I had connected with someone else who was in one of those groups, and I just said, what do you think? What do you think based off of what you know about me? And she said, if you don't do this coaching program,
And we're talking, I believe we're talking about Coach Leah,
yes, Coach Leah.
who
Yeah.
also went through the program.
Hmm. Yeah, she said, you need to do it. It is life changing. And she was correct. Once I heard that from her, I already knew though. But once I just wanted someone else to say it. And when she did, I went through it, and I am not sorry at all that I did it. It was amazing. And it was, is it 8 weeks long?
Yes.
Okay, 8 weeks. Mine, the first one that I went through was months. And I feel like this one,
Wow.
yours, was so much more rich for me. And it helped me so I felt so confident coming out of yours. Like you're like, I didn't let any grass grow under my feet. It's because I was confident. I knew what I wanted to do and I just did it. But when I finished the other one, I was still a little like, I'm not sure. I don't know. I wasn't sure. And I stepped out a little bit, but not like what you see now.
Wow. Wow. That's good stuff. I was talking to somebody today, and it was a business coach I was talking to today, and she asked me a question. She said, "What do you think is the number one reason why people don't step out into their business fully? Why don't they step out into their purpose fully?" And you just answered that basically when you said when you completed the program, there was confidence that
Mhm.
you had gone through this long program and walked away with something, but there was still something missing. That's what I heard you say, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
But
Yes.
after the 8 weeks, there was a level of confidence.
Yes. It really was. And all through the 8 weeks, I kept getting downloads of, oh, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. And it was just so much more clear than the other program. And I'm
Wow.
so grateful.
Wow. I
Mm.
love it. I love it. Now, I did not pay Coach Nicole to say that, okay? But let me tell you, I love Living on Purpose coaching certification program. I
Mhm.
have been certifying coaches for probably like 3 years now, maybe four, going on four. And it never grows old. Like I never get tired of it because I love coaching so much.
Mhm.
I love the opportunity to pour into individuals, to walk alongside individuals so that they become, and of course, with the help of God, they become self sufficient
Mhm.
in facilitating their own success.
Yeah.
That's what
Mhm.
coaching is all about. It's not about having a client for, 5 years and 3 years and 2 years, and both of us have these counseling backgrounds. So we
Mhm.
understand how there is a differentiation between coaching and counseling and the client coachee, the client coach relationship. It differs
Mhm.
from the relationship that you would have with somebody who you are full blown counseling.
Yes.
Talk about the difference between the coaching and the counseling because you have both sides of the spectrum.
Yes, I do. So with counseling, when I was a therapist, most of my clients were children, and so I was dealing with their whole family, and we would have to go back into their history, what happened back here when they were 2 and 5 and 7 and 8 that caused this here in middle school, and what is it going on in the marriage, the parents' marriage that is causing this impact on the child. And so it was a lot of reflecting back
Yeah.
on, different traumas or just different circumstances that happened in their lives. Whereas with coaching, you are more focused on assessing where a person is and where they want to go and just removing whatever barriers they have to help them move forward in that. So
Yeah.
there's not really a lot of that backward
Yeah.
looking and reflecting.
Yeah, that's good. A lot of people don't understand that there's a difference between coaching and counseling,
Mhm.
coaching and mentoring, coaching and consulting. Like
Yeah.
everybody puts all of these helping disciplines into the same pot.
Hmm.
And so sometimes you get a real watered down version of what coaching is supposed to be if you
Hmm.
don't have a clear understanding of what it's really intended to do. You
Right.
know, I
Hmm.
think that speaks to the importance of having training and being certified. I love what you said about feeling equipped and prepared after you came out of the 8 week program. And for those of you who are watching right now, let me just put this little plug in there. We are getting ready to start our next cohort on June 20th. Just a few weeks from now, we're going to have our a second cohort of the year come on board and begin to go through these 8 weeks of training that will leave you equipped and prepared to step out into the deep and begin doing what you love to do. Now, the truth of the matter, and I'm going to have Coach Nicole speak to this as well. The truth of the matter is that many of you, if you're not already certified, if you are not already trained, you're coaching somebody. Like you're like people come to you, people know that you are a great encourager, that you are a person who will sit and listen, and you will push them or pull something out of them that they did not know was there. So many times we're already doing this. The only thing is we don't have all of the nuts and bolts and the foundational pieces that give us that confidence to stand up and say, oh yeah, I'm a coach, I'm a certified coach, and what I have is going to help you. What I have is worth investing in because I am sure of who I am and what I do. Why don't you speak to that, Coach Nicole?
Yes, absolutely. It was really game changing for me coming through the program because um, the program provides you with such good tools. Like you're saying, like we may coach people day to day. People come to us for advice. I know people always come to me for advice. I am the advice person or the ear to listen, the comforter, that that safe space for people. They feel safe around me. And so they'll share what's going on and they'll want my opinion on different areas of their lives. And I love doing that. But when you actually have tools where you're doing it intentionally, you just feel more confident. You feel like you have just a greater direction. It's just more intention put into it.
Yeah, that's good. That is good. More intention put into it, more confidence. You're just sure about what you're doing, and I believe. And let's talk about this. I believe that that piece of the training, the practical training,
Mhm.
coupled with the faith piece of it,
Yes,
that
yes.
it is the recipe for an amazing, powerful, and effective coach. What do you say? Because the program you went through was totally infused with faith, right?
Absolutely. Yes. And it made all the difference. The other program that I went through was not infused with faith at all. And there was no discussion of really, if you were a faith based person or faith filled person, what to do about that in your business. And so there was really nothing about that. And that was one of the major areas that I always struggled with, which is probably why I wasn't really moving forward because I didn't know how I wanted to present myself. And so when I came through living on purpose, it's infused with that. And I remember you made a statement about you are who you are, and you bring your whole self to the coaching experience. It doesn't mean that everyone that comes to you in coaching has to align with what your faith, but you bring your whole self and they're safe to bring themselves. And that really stuck with me and helped me to kind of think about how I wanted to show up in coaching.
That's good. I love that. I love that. And that's absolutely true. That we can't make any excuses or have any qualms about, who we are. We don't have to hide it. And I believe that. And I've always said that. I've been coaching for quite some time now. And I've always said that, I may not be everybody's coach, but I am somebody's coach. And if I bring my full self and who I am, then I give my client, no matter whether they believe the same thing that I believe or not, I give my client the opportunity to make a well-informed decision about whether or not they want to entrust me, with their life, with their business, with their family matters, with their finances, with their ministry. They are very well informed. And what I have found is that I have been able to coach on all types of levels. There are people who have the same faith. There are people who don't have any faith. There are times when I have coached in a Christendom, in a church setting, or seminars that are faith based. And then there are also times when I have stood in rooms in a corporate setting where, people are not necessarily forthright with faith and things of that sort. But I tell you, the thing that is true is that by the end of it, they definitely, absolutely knew who I was. And so it still left them, our coaching, as we do with Living on Purpose, we equip you that way, that you can use your certification, your discipline, your know-how in so many different areas. And with that being said, I want you to talk about, because this excites you know where I'm going. Are some things that you have your hands in right now, in addition to your running your business out in mainstream, like the workflow, the workforce. Talk about that.
Well, so I just yesterday, actually, I just got the news that I had was accepted to a coaching position with a company, and I'm really excited about. I'm so excited because it's just another opportunity for me to coach. This will be coaching people surrounding work challenges that they're having at work, or things in their life that are impacting their work. Um, and so, uh, and the funny thing about this is, during the interview process, it was a long interview process, y'all, 4 interviews, but
Wow.
they asked me some very specific questions, and I was able to answer those questions because of Living on Purpose Academy. And I knew that it was just, so I went through the interview process just about a month. It was about a month after graduation is when it started, when the first interview came. And so, yeah, they asked very specific questions that were things that we went through. And I was confident in those answers and able to just fly through it. And now I am employed with him. And I love it because it's a 100% remote position, which
Wow.
allows me to be at home and still be able to have the energy to show up in my business the way I want to.
Wow, that is so powerful. It really speaks to the flexibility of the program, and how, like I said, you can use the information that you gain, the know-how, the knowledge that you gain in Living on Purpose coaching certification program, and you utilize it out there in mainstream, marketplace areas, and it still applies. It still applies. That's powerful. That is so powerful to see that you are able to do that and transition into a position like that, and thrive in it. And I love the fact, it's using everything. Like, when we take our coaches through the program, myself and Coach Barbara, and when we take our coach trainees through, every week they're coaching, and it's virtually. They're coaching each other in class, and we're there, and we're saying, okay, that's good, you need to tighten up on this, or don't do that, and it's a safe place to learn. And you just never know what God is doing. You just never know what he's doing and how he's going to use those gifts and those talents and those strategies and skills that you're gaining over the course of those 8 weeks. Now, let me tell y'all something about Dr. Nicole, Coach Nicole. Let me tell you, during the course of our 8-week class, she was also working on completing her doctorate. Am I correct?
You are correct. Yes.
Talk
Yeah.
about, talk about the program. About, no, some people are like, I don't think I can do it. Now, let me tell you, if somebody like this amazing coach right here can complete a doctorate, and also, and I'm not saying she just got by the program with the skin of her teeth, she excelled. She was at the top of the list. Talk about the work. Talk about how you did that.
I number one, I wanted it, and I was determined to do it. And so I made a decision that I was going to show up, and the program is Living on Purpose program. Um, there's assignments and reading and things like that, but as long as you pace yourself and as long as you kind of, get into your rhythm, what fits your world, you can do it. Because let me tell you, my doctorate program, that was no joke. That was no joke at all. And I was extremely big. And when I was going through Living on Purpose, it was the end of my doctoral program. So I was working on my huge final project that I had to create. I created an entire course, and so I was doing that at the same time. And that was a lot.
Wow.
But I was able to do it.
Yeah. You said something very key. You said if you really want it, like you have to really want it, and you really wanted it. And at the same time, you had to do, and I know not only were you in school, but there were some personal responsibilities that you had in your life. And I remember, even taking a real life situation and kind of coaching you through that in one of our sessions, as we often did with some of our other coach trainees as well. And you were able to make some decisions, just from the input, not only from myself and evangelist or Coach Barbara, who's also an evangelist, but also from your peers. Like there was a peer coaching component that I think was so powerful. Talk about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I loved being able to, well, first there was the person that we were connected with, our AP. That was an amazing experience of being able to coach each other and get feedback. But also we were able to watch the other coaches with their, during their practice rounds as well. And so to me, that's really valuable because you're watching someone go through a process, you're watching them get immediate feedback. And feedback is the only way that you improve your skills. And so it to me, that is just so valuable to have that, being able to see that and then having people encourage you. It's a great kind of like a close knit group that I really appreciated.
Yeah. And it's that, I think in those settings, I've certified probably like 150 coaches. I'm probably right around there now. And to see the connections that are made within the different cohorts, many of them are still like they have their little groups and they're still in conversation and support of each other. And so, yeah, you're right. There's this intimacy and this connection that's created within the program that lasts for such a long time. And I loved how, you talked about giving feedback and supporting each other, because we always allowed the coaches to, well, what's your input on that session? What do you see? What can you add? And, we were able to help each other and get through these sessions without, beating anybody up, and nobody didn't run away, and nobody didn't quit, or, there was no breakdowns or anything like that. As a matter of fact, the very opposite occurred as we would go through those sessions together and encourage one another. And so, if you're watching this afternoon and you're saying, you know what, I always wondered what this whole coaching certification process was like, Coach Nicole is sharing some of that. And if you really want to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty, be in this next cohort that's beginning on June 20th. June 20th, just a few short days away. We're going to kick off our next cohort. And if you have questions about that, you can definitely reach out to me. You can inbox me. If you want to know if you have questions and want answers about, how do you enroll? We definitely have payment plans and payment programs in place. If you look and go to my website, Kimberly, let me put that up there. If you go to KimberlyJonesGlobal.com, you can find out the information about registration. And if you want information about payment plans, just reach out. I don't want you to be intimidated by that. I want you, if you know that you're hearing God say to you, in this season, it's time for me to do something different, I don't want you to hesitate. One of the things that the enemy does is he keeps us back because we'll see some numbers or a price and we'll be like, no, I can't do it. But that's not our leading factor. Our leading factor about doing anything great and taking next steps in our lives should always be our faith. It should always be our faith. And then God comes in and he provides the answers. You see my shirt today. I have on my faith over fear t-shirt today. And that applies to every area of our lives, that we should be led by our faith and not by our fears. And if there's anything that God has called you to, he will definitely call you to go through it, not missing a beat. Not missing a beat. Speaking of not missing a beat, as we get ready to wrap up this session, Coach Nicole, I want you to talk about your business. You got this amazing class that's getting ready to come up, right? That's getting ready.
We just did it. We just did it this last weekend.
Oh, okay, you just completed it. Well, talk about that then. You've already done a class, completed a class.
Yes.
You used some of the strategies that we gave in the course. Yes. Talk about that first class.
So I created a workshop called the Strategic Life Planning Workshop, all because I went through Living on Purpose coaching certification. Everything came from my experience in there. And I had some women in there with me this past weekend, and we had such a good time. And they were so impacted. They loved it. And at the end, I had another opportunity for them to come into a 6-month intensive with me. And I had one of them do that. So for my first time through, I had one person do it. And I was so excited about that. So, and this is honestly, this is further than I've gotten ever before when I tried. You know, I've tried to do different things, different classes, workshops, this and that. But it was after this program that I really was like, no, I'm doing this. So it's really good.
That is great. You know, I say, you know, whenever we do what God has told us to do, when we move forward in faith instead of fear, and we do what he told us to do, I believe that that always results in a 100% success rate. Mm-hmm. When we are totally obedient, no matter what the numbers look like, no matter, you know, what the response is, we have a 100% success rate because we have successfully stepped out and done what God has called us to do. And so I want to congratulate you on a 100% success rate as you have launched out into your business. You've had your first class. You have your 6-month client on board. And can I tell you, I just know it. I can see it. I can see it. That is just the first of many. That is the first of many. You are going to do an amazing job at coaching and creating answers and solutions. And, you know, I believe that what we do as coaches is that we pull the very best versions of individuals out of them. Because many times we operate in a, again, watered down or a compromised version of who God has called us to be. I believe that there is a greater version of us that God calls to the forefront. And that is the version of us that's able to complete our assignment in the earth. That's why I say there is so much power in a God-inspired coach. There is so much power because we pull out the very best in individuals that they may not be aware of, that has been hiding, that has been afraid, that has been skeptical, and we give them the tools to live their lives out loud. Coach Nicole, before we end this session, can you just, to somebody who might be watching, who is considering maybe going into coaching or doing the next thing in their lives, and they might be a little, you know, afraid or a little intimidated by the process, speak to them, encourage them, because I know you are definitely a woman of faith.
Yes, definitely. You know, if that is you and you are considering going into coaching, or you feel that God is calling you to be a helper per se, an encourager and equipper of other people, but you're hesitant and nervous, I would just encourage you to step out anyway, to step out and ask God really for like I said, the question that I said earlier, what is it that you needed at the time when you were not having clarity or struggling or feeling stuck? What do you wish that you would have had? Because that could be the thing that God is asking you to provide for other people through coaching.
Yeah,
And this is a great place to get equipped to do that. A safe place too to get
I
equipped to
love it.
do that.
I
Mhm.
love it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I agree. I concur that, you just have to step out. And I'm telling you, the Living on Purpose Coaching Certification Program is a safe place. It's
Mhm.
a safe place, and it's a solid place. I think it's solid and it's safe.
Yeah.
And it's a place where the expression of who God has called you to be, it comes out. One thing that I love about the coaching certification program that the Lord has given me to offer is that not only are you equipped to coach, you are
Mhm.
coached while you go
Yes,
through
that
the
is amazing.
training. You
Yes,
coach yourself, right? I know
that
I
was
think that was
very
a lot.
valuable.
Talk about that just a little bit.
Yes, you guys, I was, like I said, I was doing my doctoral program, this program, and I knew that some major transitions were coming in my life. And so the aspect of the program where we're actually being coached by not only our AP, but Coach Kimberly, Coach Barbara, and the other people who are in the group with you. That was so valuable to me because people really asked me great questions. Have you thought of this? Did you think about this? All the great, really great questions that opened me up, and I feel like made me, um, again, it's just confidence, gave me confidence. So not only in my business, but in my personal life to go ahead and make some big decisions in my personal life too. So it was great. It was like, an added bonus that you're getting coached while you're being trained to be a coach.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
that two-edged sword, so to speak,
Mhm.
that you get equipped to coach others while you yourself are being poured into. And the reason why the program is structured that way is because I believe that you cannot take anyone to a place that you haven't been. And
Mhm.
so if we have not availed ourselves to that level of vulnerability and being coached, it's going to be very hard for us to even know how to navigate and how far to push and how hard to push, to
Mhm.
get somebody to that place of vulnerability where they are very honest about where they are and who they are and where they're going.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an absolute wonderful honor being able to coach you and see you through to graduation and see all the wonderful things that you are doing and those things that are yet to come. I just speak blessings over every endeavor out in the marketplace with your new assignment, as well as with your business, creative life purpose coaching. You guys that are watching, you see the information for Coach Nicole scrolling across the screen there, her website, the name of her coaching business. Check her out. Listen, I'm always honored to be able to showcase and highlight my coaches. I'm not one of those individuals that says, "Well, I'm not gonna talk about them because they might, take my bit." No, I don't believe that. I believe that what God has for me is for me, and what God has for my coaches, it's for them. And if I can be instrumental in helping, supporting, and pushing, then I'm absolutely going to show up like that. It does not end with the last day of the program because I've been known to be a coach stalker. Okay. I'm out there. I was on one of her broadcasts when I was like, let me check out what is Nicole doing over here. Let me see what she's doing. And I was pleasantly surprised to see all of the amazing things that you are doing. So thank you so much. Thank you for coming on this afternoon and
Absolutely.
spending some time. I love it. I love it. For those of you who are watching, the information for the upcoming cohort, there it is. Bam, there it is. Living on Purpose Coaching Certification Program. We're going to begin another cohort. This is your opportunity to get out there and live on purpose as a certified personal development coach and make every day of your life count while preparing yourself to make every day of somebody else's life count. June 20th, next cohort, go to KimberlyJonesGlobal.com and register today. Reach out to me if you have any questions. We'll be back on very soon with another highlight of one of our amazing coaches who have come through the program. You guys be blessed, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you much, Coach Nicole.
Right. Thank you.